Hey everyone, Roger here. Today I'm going to walk this park. When I was really sad and depressed and lying on my couch, it was really difficult for me to come out and get some fresh air and enjoy the nature and stuff because I was just so depressed. But sometimes I wanted to come out and I don't know if it was because I felt sorry for myself or I wanted people to feel sorry for me, but I took this path and I walked alone just to think of what my future was going to be. And most of the time, my future wasn't bright the way I was thinking. My mindset, it wasn't bright at all. So I decided to take this path. I'll show you a little bit of it right now. It's a really nice path. There's a lot of trees and stuff in it. But most of the time I took this path alone, and it gave me a chance to really think to myself. Because sometimes when you're alone, that's when you can find more about yourself, right? And I just wanted to take a walk down this path again, just to let you know what it was like back then and what I did while I was, walking on this path. And most of those days, they weren't great at all. They was horrible. I was crying most of the time while I was walking here. There was one time, my brother flew back all the way from Hong Kong when he found out about my anxiety and depression. And before he arrived, I actually came here at nighttime, and I just looked up into the sky. Right now it's beautiful, there's like no stars or anything like that. I looked up in the stars, and I was just asking, why is my life like this? Am I ever gonna get healed? And is there a light? There's a nice light behind me right now, but and I was crying and I knew my brother was coming, and I was so happy and sad at the same time, right? So he came, and he actually came to this park with me many times. And one time, so I'm just gonna go this way here. One time, we came over here on this hill, and the sun was setting over there by you can see there's a building there, it's a school. And I just sat here like this, and we were sitting here talking, and he was massaging my back. He was massaging me for at least an hour, I think, just massaging and telling me that everything's gonna be okay. And, and it was relaxing to have my brother there beside me to show me his support. And it was, I think, one of the most happiest moments I had during that time for a long time, because it was so dark. And the words he was telling me was very promising, But the one thing about when you're going through anxiety, depression, no matter what anyone tells you, whatever they say to you, it goes through one ear and out the other, because any of those positive thoughts that you're thinking of, they don't feel like they exist, right? You tend to just block them and ignore them. Oops. And I did take his advice. He was just telling me, to take care of yourself. He says you need to start loving yourself, and that's what I did. I took his advice and I started to do so. But there's a lot of times I came here alone, right? Most of the times, my mother was trying to get me out to walk with her. And just to give me a little bit more comfort, I think those were one of the best walks I had with my mom. She was there for me 24/7 pretty much. And there was this one time I was walking with her, and she had something in her hand, and it was at this point right here, right before this path leads into the actual park area. She opened her hand and she had a little pouch in her hand. And she said, "Roger, this is for you." And so I opened it, and it was a cross. And she told me, you know, Jesus is here for you always. You know, he's watching you, he loves you, and he's going to make sure that you're going to get better. And I almost cried because when I saw it and I held it in my hand and I put it on, I could already feel the love, his presence, and that day was very special to me because after I put that cross on, my life, I could start to see my life changing a little bit, you know. And I spoke to him every day after that, you know. I spoke to him and I was asking him, you know, at first I was asking him why me? What did I do? I'm a good person. I don't know why I'm experiencing this, right? And just to, before I went to bed, you know, I would even watch YouTube videos and just listen to, you know, anything to do about Jesus, you know, to comfort me, to put me to bed. And then I would always talk to him and says, show me a sign that things are going to get better. Show me a sign that, you know, I have a future ahead of me, and that I'm going to heal one day. And eventually it did. You know, these walks in the parks are so crucial, even though it's hard for you to actually go outside because you just want to stay inside and not do anything. But, you know, you have to make that choice to do something, anything that can give you some sort of positivity, you know, to give you a little bit of momentum. I'm just going to sit down here. A little bit of momentum so that it could carry over to the next day, right? So, but there was one time I was so sad, and it's actually over there, the hill. I left my house. I didn't say anything to my kids. I didn't say anything to anybody, my mom, my wife. I just left and I walked here to the park, and I went to, I'm actually at the park right now, so I went to, there's a part right there, before there weren't any houses, over there in the back. I was sitting up on that hill over there, way back at the end. And I was just like, I think I'm just gonna leave my house because I felt like I was a burden to my family. And I was just sitting there thinking, and then all of a sudden, I looked over. I was gone for about maybe an hour or so. I saw my mom, my daughter, and my son, and they were walking because they were looking for me because I guess I was missing, so they were trying to find out where I was. And when I saw them looking for me, you know, they were worried for me and they wanted to see me, they wanted to help me. I cried my eyes out. You know, I cried my eyes out because I was like, Roger, there's so much love. Why are you running away from it? What are you doing? You know, your family wants you to get better. So, you know, start making a choice right now, you know, to find something to change your life. Because you want to see your family smile again, right? You want to see your mom happy, even though it's so difficult because you're so sad. And I will always remember that day because it made me realize how grateful I should be. How grateful I should be that I have such a loving family and, you know, my loving kids, my wife, you know, my brother, my sister, and my friends that were there to support me. And, you know, it helped me so much to push myself to start finding ways to love myself, you know, and that wasn't easy. Trying to find ways to love yourself, because at the beginning I had no idea how to love myself, you know. But through the experience I learned, you know, it was so dark. I hated myself so much. I was I think I needed to find out what it was like to hate yourself so much that you just want to find a way to reverse that. And you know, I was looking at all my flaws. I was creating this world that shouldn't have even existed, or these thoughts that I was creating was a place that nobody wants to be in, right? So I started loving myself, you know, I started taking care of myself. I started to bring back the things I pushed aside for so long back into my life. And all these little things helped me realize that, you know, I am going through a really tough time. You know, everyone's gonna go through dark chapters in their life. But how hard, how are you willing? How much willpower do you have? And how much determination do you have to make, you know, a positive growth in your life? What are you willing to do? How far are you gonna go to see your joy and happiness again? And I told myself, from this day forward, I'm not gonna let anything stop me. You know, my goal is to become happy again. My goal is to heal myself. My goal is to, after I heal myself, I'm gonna tell my story to other people. I'm gonna tell them, you know, that even though you're going through anxiety and depression, that there is a light, that there is always hope, that you can get better, you know. And it took me a while to finally recover, but you know, those promises I made for myself, I kept. And hopefully these videos that I do, you know, the quotes that I write there and the experience that I went through is going to help you, because at the same time it's helping me, right? So yeah, so this is the park I'm going through. It's beautiful right now, like compared to how it was 3 years ago when I was walking down the same path to how it is when I'm walking right now. Huge difference, huge difference. 3 years ago, I hated myself. You know, I would jog around this path, around and around. And now I can walk with joy and happiness. You know, there's the other side of me that I thought I would never see, but I'm here. And I am so grateful to have the chance to do what I do, even though I went through a really dark ride, a dark chapter in my life. But I look at it now as a blessing in disguise, and I'm so thankful and blessed that I'm able to have this opportunity to help others find their joy and happiness. So, hope you enjoyed this walk with me at the park. I will catch you next video, and I hope you're having a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.